Sri Lanka Insurance Minimutu education plans ensure a secure future for your child with a higher education fund, comprehensive protection and a range of additional covers.
In a few moments, the news.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Precisely 1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. It has been stressed that there will be another wave of COVID if health guidelines are not adhered. The President says that there is a need for new agricultural revolution which is not against nature. Venerable Galbadatte Gnanasaratira says that there cannot be various rules for some groups. A decision will be taken on the commencement of all grades in schools. The transportation activities in the Uva province has been obstructed due to heavy rains. News overseas on Japanese elections. Ruling LDP retains single-party majority. We move on to local news in detail now. The health sector warns that there will be a risk of a fourth corona wave re-emerging if proper health guidelines are not followed. The COVID death toll can increase at any time. This has been revealed by the Deputy Health Service Director General Hemantha Herath. Specialist Doctor of the Epidemiology Unit Ananda Vijay Vikrama said that health guidelines should be followed properly even if they have obtained both vaccines. He also stated that there is a possibility of the Delta Plus variant entering the country. He reiterated that England and Israel, who carried out the vaccination program successfully, have reported infected patients again. The people of those countries have taken the utmost use of the freedom they received, which in turn contributed to the rise of the disease. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has emphasized the imperative need for a new agricultural revolution that is not against nature and pointed out that people should coexist with nature rather than act against it. The President made these remarks addressing a special conference organized by Sri Lanka on the sidelines of the United Nations Climate Change Conference COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland, under the theme Rediscovering Nitrogen Solutions and Synergies for Climate Change, Health, Biodiversity and Circular Economy. The conference was held yesterday at 5 p.m. Scotland time, the President's Media Division said. President Rajapaksa said that his government's policy frameworks emphasize sustainability. This is reflected in Sri Lanka's ambitions, updated nationally, determined contributions to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The challenge facing us now is to use modern scientific techniques and practices to enhance agricultural production without causing environmental degradation. For decades, chronic kidney disease has been a serious issue in Sri Lanka's agricultural heartland. The overuse of chemical fertilizers has contributed significantly to this problem. The President said, adding in this context, his government took firm steps to reduce imports of chemical fertilizer and strongly encourage organic agriculture. He said although this action has been broadly appreciated, it has also met with some criticism and resistance. In addition to chemical fertilizer lobby groups, this resistance has come from farmers who have grown accustomed to overusing fertilizer as an easy means of increasing yields. Chief of the Presidential Task Force for One Rule, One Country concept, Venerable Galbadatte Gnanasaratira said that the aim of this task force is to build the environment for all nations, including Sinhala, Tamil, Muslim, Buddhist, Catholic and Hindu to live together, undivided under one rule and one country. A media briefing was held at the Presidential Media Centre in this regard this morning. The rules allotted for various groups cannot exist in the country. The Thayer also emphasised that solution for these problems should be sought under the present government. A decision will be taken to commence educational activities of grades 6 to 9 in all schools in the island at the COVID committee meeting, which is to be held under the patronage of the President. At present, grade 1 to 5 in all schools have already commenced. It is expected to begin grade 10, 11, 12 and 13 on the 8th of this month. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
Continuing with more stories here at home. The transportation activity in the Badula district has been obstructed due to heavy rains experienced in the Uva province. A huge mound of soil has crashed and obstructed the Allavallavai road. Therefore, the drivers have been requested to seek alternative roads. Pasara Divisional Secretariat Division has been named as a warning alert zone. 130 millimeters of rain was experienced at the Kosland area yesterday. The red alert on landslides issued by the National Building Research Organisation is being continued further. The residents in the area should be vigilant in this regard. The sluice gates of the Victoria Lakshapana reservoirs have been opened. Deputy Director of the Disaster Management Centre Pradeep Kodipilli said that the people living in low-lying areas should be vigilant. The Railways Department said several trains that were scheduled to reach Colombo Fort were delayed due to signal failures on several railway lines, including the main line. The office trains in 3 main lines were delayed by nearly 2 hours. Therefore, several trains from Ragama to Gampaha have been stationed continuously. They said trains on the main line and the Puttalam line were delayed this morning. Other railway lines were also affected by the signal issues, and as a result several trains were delayed to reach their destinations. Meanwhile, it has been reported that there was a huge traffic congestion from New Kalani Bridge in Palyagoda at the Kandy Main Road towards Colombo this morning. And that's local news.
Just as love and freedom are important to a child, so too is knowledge. Encouraging their pursuit of knowledge is our most important responsibility as parents.
Sri Lanka Insurance Minimutu education plans ensure a secure future for your child with a higher education fund, comprehensive protection and a range of additional covers. Minimutu education plans for children who dare to dream. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Ministry of Defence is expected to conduct the Defence Summit next year. This summit was not held for 2 years due to the corona situation. It is also expected to hold the summit with the participation of International Defence Service chiefs.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And on Watchlight, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that the water supply in several areas in Gampaha will be suspended for 12 hours today from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. The water cut will be imposed in Siambalapivatta, Biyagama, Delgoda, Udupila, Akurumulla, Demalagama, Kanduboda, Dekatana, Palahala, Indomulla, Dompe, Narangwala, Valleyveria and Ratupaswala areas. This is due to urgent repairs to the water supply lines on the Kalaniya-Mudungoda road. That's on Watchlight, and moving on to world news headlines. On Japan's elections, ruling LDP retains single-party majority. Boris Johnson says no excuses for not tackling climate change. Biden chairs summit on supply chain resilience. World news in detail. Japan's ruling party has held on to their single-party majority in a big win for Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who took power just a month ago. The Liberal Democratic Party secured more than 233 lower house seats, enough to govern without its coalition partner, Komeito. Mr. Kishida, 64, became leader of the LDP earlier this month. The party has dominated Japanese politics for decades, but was criticized for its handling of the pandemic. Mr. Kishida's predecessor, Yoshihide Suga, stepped down in September after just a year in office. The resignation came amid plummeting poll ratings for the LDP following an unpopular push to continue with the Tokyo Olympics despite public concern about surging COVID-19 rates. Boris Johnson has warned world leaders there are no compelling excuses for failing to tackle climate change. Speaking at the close of the G20 summit in Rome, he said some progress was made in the past few days, but there was still a huge way to go. World leaders were meeting in Rome to discuss what can be done to keep global warming in check ahead of the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow. Mr. Johnson added immediate action was needed to halve emissions by 2030. In Rome, the leaders of the 19 countries and the European Union, which formed the G20 group of major economies, agreed to pursue efforts to limit global warming with meaningful and effective actions. Finally, on world news, US President Joe Biden has hosted a meeting on the sidelines of the Group of 20 summit to discuss global supply chain distributors and how to prevent them in the future. Leaders from the European Union and countries including Japan and the UK attended the meeting in Rome yesterday. President Biden said they have to take action now, together with our partners in the private sector, to reduce the backlogs that we're facing, and then we have to prevent this from happening again in the future. The White House says the participants expressed their intent to work together to strengthen the resilience of supply chains for raw materials and components. And that's on world news. Moving on to development news. The Ministry of Urban Development has planned to develop 4 new walking paths. It will be constructed in Jaffna, Vallavali, Bandaravala and Gampa Bauda Lokamavata. 220 million rupees will be spent in this regard. Moving on to sports news now. The decisive match of Sri Lanka at the T20 World Championship tournament will begin at 7:30 p.m. today. Sri Lanka should win this match in order to remain in the tournament. Sri Lanka cricket team and England will compete today. That's on sports news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Accepting of applications from the investors for the issuance of basic public shares for the Sarvodaya Development Finance Company will begin from the 23rd of this month. This institution has been established in order to provide economic benefits for the rural people in the island. The company will also provide financial assistance to upgrade the livelihood of the rural people. 51 such consumer service centres have already established in the island.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news,
courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Ministry of Samurdhi is planning to initiate Hela Bhajan Halas in the island in order to provide cooked healthy food items. A Bhajan Hala was opened in the Imban Katu area yesterday. State Minister Sehan Semasinghe said that such trade outlets will begin in the island, and this program is being initiated by the Department of Samurdhi.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
The Met Department says that low-pressure area still persists in the vicinity of Sri Lanka. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in western Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere, particularly during the evening or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western Sabaragamuwa, southern, central and north-central provinces. Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
Back to the headlines. It has been stressed that there will be another wave of COVID if health guidelines are not adhered. The President says that there is a need for a new agricultural revolution which is not against the nature. Venerable Galapadatte Gnanasaratira says that there cannot be various rules for some groups. A decision will be taken on the commencement of all grades in schools. The transportation activities in the Uva province has been obstructed due to heavy rains. News overseas on Japan's elections, ruling LDP retains single-party majority. And with that, we conclude the second bulletin of the day, and it's over to Asanka this afternoon to give you some good company. Over to you.
Thank you, Sharifa. Wish you a great afternoon ahead. And we have the lineup of your favorite lunchtime music coming up. But before that, this is India Today.
Shadows in my room, can't take back the love that I gave you.
Just the right kind of mix. Always turn you on.
It's always on my radio.
97.4 and 97.6 FM Island-wide.
All the tears are rolling down your face. Never be alone, I'll be there for you.
The radio is hot, but the music is cool.
It's Radio Sri Lanka.
The radio station you can call your own.
So this is India Today segment on Radio Sri Lanka. For today, Australia recognizes Bharat Biotech's Covaxin for travel purposes. Well, it further says the Australian government has added Bharat Biotech's COVID-19 jab Covaxin to its list of approved vaccines for establishing a traveller's vaccination status. Thus, Indians who received Covaxin will be allowed to enter the country. Last month, Australia recognized Covishield, manufactured by the Serum Institute of India, for travel purposes. The Therapeutic Goods Administration, TGA, Australia's pharma regulator, has also added Sinopharm comes BBIBP CoV to the list as well. What is Covaxin? Covaxin is an indigenous vaccine developed by Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech International Limited in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR and National Institute of Virology Pune. Covaxin has demonstrated 77.8% effectiveness against symptomatic COVID-19 and 65.2% protection against the new Delta variant. Moving on, we've got cricket news. T20 World Cup. Can India qualify for semi-final despite big defeats to New Zealand and Pakistan? It's not the first time cricket fans in the country have had to sit with calculators and figure out permutations and combinations in a cricket season, but for the first time in recent memory, fans of the Indian cricket team will have an anxious wait as Virat Kohli's men are on the brink of a shocking early exit in T20 World Cup 2021. Billed as one of the pre-tournament favourites, India have shocked quite a few with their listless performances so far at the T20 World Cup. India's body language, their mental strength have all come into question after two humbling defeats. We've got some tech news as well. BSNL reintroduces 399 rupee fiber plan with 30 Mbps speed. And we've got further news on that. Government-owned telco Bharat Sanchar Nigam has relaunched an entry-level fiber broadband plan. The plan offers 30 Mbps download speed till 1000 GB data usage. Once the speed is exhausted, the speed is reduced to 2 Mbps. The plan is available for a promotional period of 90 days. After 6 months, users will be shifted to Fiber Basic 449 rupee plan after 6 months. The Fiber experience comes bundled with unlimited voice calls to any network without additional charges. The plan comes with unlimited voice calls to any network without additional charges as well. So that's all we have for you today for India Today segment. Coming up next, we have lunchtime music.